So as we all know, before we start solving a cube, we have to do an inspection. So this inspection means we have to take a look at it and try to sort out a way to solve it as quickly as possible. Figure out how to do it as quickly as possible. So how do we take advantage of that? So most of the times when you're competing and when the judge says 8 seconds or 12 seconds, you always have to be warned of the amount of time that has passed when it's 8 and 12 seconds. Then the judge would say, well, if it's 8 or 12 seconds. So that for me at least is, I get a bit nervous when that happens, right? So how do we avoid getting nervous? How do we avoid like doing something that messes up our solve before even it starts? So the first thing to take in mind is keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. So one very simple thing is rotations. So as we all know, rotations take up quite a lot of time, more than moves, even though they don't seem to. So we are going to try and reduce those rotations as much as possible, as much as we can. So if for instance I get a scramble, let's move the random scramble here. So if I get something like this, I normally solve white or yellow cross. In this case I'm going to go white to make it more simple, and I'm just, I figure out that my cross will use F, U, R, and L moves. So F, U, R, and L moves, all of these. So I don't need B, I don't need D in this case. So what I'm gonna do is try to position myself, and before I start and put the hands in the timer, I have to put the cube in a position that's comfortable for me. That's both comfortable, and that helps me see what I'm gonna do. So if for instance I'm gonna use this solve, which I said from here I need F, U, R, and L moves. So I'm not gonna say it like this, because if I do this and I put my hands in the timer, then I catch the cube and it's not in the position I want, right? I have to do a rotation right away, and I want to avoid that. So what we're gonna do, we put it like this, which is the way we are gonna face it, and then we can just start right away. Right? Another tip, you don't have to do things you haven't done before. Don't risk, never risk doing things you don't know how they will turn out. For instance, I see this pair here, and I say, oh, if I do this, I will build a pair before, and I can, I can do an X cross. But if you have seen it, I have wasted too many moves already. And sometimes maybe I just mess up and it ends up being something like this, and it's not even an X cross, and I waste my time, I waste moves, and I ruin my solve, even before it starts. So it's very important to keep this in mind. Do things you do know how to do. And if you say, well, I don't know many things to do, I don't know how to build up pairs, I don't know how to put many edges of the cross at the same time. So what I would recommend is for you to practice this, scramble a cube, and then take a look at it for as much time as you want, and then solve it. Then repeat this as many times as you want and as you can, and then you will see how it gets quicker, and you get faster at thinking how I can put this here, and knowing more algorithms, more ways through it, right? And the third tip is to try and see as much things as possible. I know I have just said it has to be simple, but at the same time you have to, improve yourself as much as possible. So if it's been like very quick, so right away I can see a way to solve my cross. Like it's been 3 seconds of the inspection and I already know how to do my cross, right? My white cross. And, I start solving it, right? So let's try to avoid this. When that happens, what you're gonna do is try and see what happens, how it affects other parts of the cube, what you're gonna do. For example, I know my cross will affect this phase, but at first it will be an L move, then a U, then R, U, and another R. So I know this pair will not be affected, right? Let's do this. And as I told you, this is not going to be affected. Now, we can call this a pair, of course. So in the meantime, I'm going to find a way to turn this pair into a solved pair, or to keep it in order to start my first F12, and then the solve just speeds up and it's very much more fluid, right? So those are the 3 tips you have to follow, if you want to like improve your inspection time. So that's it for that's been it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and it's been useful to you, and yeah, have a nice day.